Hello, everybody. We are back for another episode of Quantum News. How's it going over there, Lance Shuttler?
I'm doing good. How about you today, Kristen?
I'm doing good. It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny and just awesome. High vibing for sure. I think that energy of what was going on finally passed. It's passing through.
Definitely. Today, and I really mean this too. Today I woke up and just started doing my morning routine and, just getting into the day. And I could distinctly feel a difference energy wise than in the past like week or 2 weeks. It feels very much lighter and a lot different. And I think part of that is because we're now in the balsamic moon phase. So we're now just a day away from the new moon. And so we're kind of in the energy of wrapping up this previous cycle and getting into this new one on tomorrow in Cancer. And so, it's sort of like things are waning as part of this older cycle. It's coming to an end tomorrow, and we can step into the new.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I almost forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, guys, we have a new moon. A new moon for tomorrow on the 17th, so 7/17. That's going to be fun. So you might feel empowered to start things brand new, clean slate. It's very good. Very good energy. Well, what shall we do? Should we do the cards for the week for right now?
Yeah, definitely. So let's ask about the week and
Yeah.
just the new moon in general with all the new energy, because I know that 7 planets are now
Whoa.
about to go or will be in retrograde coming this week. There's 6 right now, I believe, about to be 7. The nodes are going to move into Aries and Libra over.
Yes.
I believe that's also midweek on Wednesday too. So very interesting energy changes happening, and let's see what's in store for us, Kristen.
Yeah, let's see what is in store for us this week. Here we go. King of Wands energy, Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So I pulled 3 at once. They just kind of flopped out on us. So the King of Wands is that fiery energy. So like you said, Aries is, we're going to be taking charge. You might feel like, just hitting the gym or like getting goals done, things that you've been putting off for a while. Things are just like you're full force, full energy. And then the 7 of Cups. So it could be multiple different things that you've maybe put on the back burner because, life gets in the way. And then you get the King of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is like rushing in, empowered, motivated, ready to go. And then the King of Wands is being in your own power. So where this is coming in is not only activities you're going to go full charge, but you're also going to take full charge in what no longer serves you, as this always is a thing for around a full moon or a new moon. Then we got the Tower in reverse and the Star card. So success and abundance. So with the Tower card being in reverse, it is showing us that I do feel for most of us, if you did have a recent life change or think something drastic that just was very powerful or emotional, it's in reverse. So I think the worst is over of that phase. And now you're at this healing part right here, the Aquarius card of the Star. So the Star card is Aquarian, it's healing, it's humanitarian. You might even be focused more about your health at this time. So taking better care of yourself, self-nurturing. So that's what's coming through. I think this is going to really empower people to really take care of themselves, for sure. That's a very good message for this week.
Yeah, that is, and that really resonates with the Cancer energy of the new moon. That's all about nurturing and home and safety and protection and
Yeah.
feeling nurtured and taken care of. And
Yeah,
that's perfect with that.
definitely. Yeah, and it actually makes me think about the pets too. It goes for our little furry friends too. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely. I know you're going to touch on that later in the show. You and Janine
Yes.
had an amazing show on Friday, and yes, I was watching it. There was some people.
Oh,
I noticed some comments in there, and thank you all for that. But we'll touch on that later. That was a really awesome show, Kristen.
thank you. Yeah, it was so fun, so fun. But yeah, this moon energy affects all of us, even our little ones, our little fur people.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So how would you like to go from here? What's your first story?
So we're going to get into some of the geopolitical. We're going to talk about Ripple as well a little bit
Mhm.
further into the show. Ripple, gold, silver, a lot of financial things are happening right now, and it's going to continue to happen. With this new moon in Cancer, it's a cardinal sign. So Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, cardinal signs, meaning times of change and big pivots. If you look at the zodiac, it's always a shifting of the seasons, but also a shifting of the energy because it's all about that action. And so this, I think, with it being in Cancer and we're just in the summer, we know what's happening in the world, a lot of big changes happening, a lot of action will be taken, and certainly financially too.
Yeah, definitely. Same.
So yeah, no, exactly, Kristen. And I'm going to get into this here. Let's see. Okay, so are you able to see this right now?
Yes. Ooh, yeah.
Okay. So the first story, and there's a lot of really interesting things happening right now. The first story that I want to touch on is something that just happened today, which is Benjamin Netanyahu. He
Mhm.
was he was sent home, but he went to the hospital after fainting at his home. He did end up going back. They said he's in very good condition. They equated it to dehydration. Obviously, even if that wasn't the story, they would just tell us that. They're not going to put out what's really going on. But we know that Netanyahu, whether this is the real one or an actor at this point, we'll see. But at least in the past, Benjamin Netanyahu was absolutely part of uh, the cabal and what they were doing.
Mm,
We'll see where things shake out at the end of the day when all this stuff continues to flow out. But this is a big story. Let's keep an eye on this one
yeah.
because he has been a central figure, and especially in warmongering situations, pushing for war with Iran over the past decade in particular. But, maybe this is the actor's time to now bow out coming up. We'll see.
Mhm.
Uh, but Kristen, I think that this would be a good one to pull cards on.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so. How did you know? I was shuffling and getting ready.
okay, so there's a lot of questions we could ask, but
Yeah.
um, my question would be the first one is this the real Benjamin or an actor at this point?
Ooh, here we go. The Hermit card. Let's see what that's secretive. Secretive and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I would say that's the actor. Yes. That is the actor. That is not the real one. Yep. There's an illusion here with the moon card. That is one of the meanings of the moon card is illusion. Things aren't what they seem. And then you have the Four of Cups. So, yes, it's all planned out, and that is an actor. Yep.
I mean, I think so too. At this point, I remember, uh, you
Yeah.
know, distinctly hearing some information about Benjamin and the groups that he was involved with, and it goes just beyond the cabal, much darker things as we know, secret societies, things like that, Templars. Uh, so we'll see because he has definitely been a central figure. The state of Israel being such a huge focus geopolitically in so many different ways. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I believe that he is, but we'll see where that goes.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so the next thing, Kristen, and I believe that you saw this. I know some others most likely certainly saw this. So the actor or the actress known as Kamala, she made a speech, and this was on PBS. I'm not going to play this, but I'll read it. She was saying a bunch of different things. This is about the environment and clean energy. And she said, when we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water. So, she straight up said reduce the
Yep.
population or reduce population. We know that this is an actor at this point, but what are they doing? They're having to continue to tell us what their agenda is. And,
Hmm.
this is, I believe, the good side using this actress to put forth this information and, just try to wake more people up. Like, yes, she did say that. That's clearly part of their agenda. They've wanted that the whole time. And they're just flat out saying it and sneaking it in so cleverly. That's what they've been so good at this, just so clever and manipulative with their language and their words and sneaking these things into scripts and everything that they do. So this is another good example of how they do it. And she snuck it in there very, very nonchalantly. I listened to it a few times and you almost don't hear her. And if you weren't listening for it, you almost wouldn't hear it. But this is what they do.
Yes.
So, kind of moving along, people know about Hollywood and what's happening and the fact that Sound of Freedom came out and how that's, really tying into Hollywood.
Mhm.
But I find it very interesting. And, you and I talked about this, Kristen, and I'd love to hear what you had said when I asked you about this
Yes.
with Hollywood. So they're going on strike, and this has been the longest, biggest strike that they've enacted in over 60 years. This was something that I was reading. And, this article basically saying it's only going to get worse. So what, in your perspective, Kristen, does that mean? And what do you think's happening? And,
Yeah.
I'll add on to this and then I'll turn it over. Sorry about this. So I
No, it's fine.
noticed that Mark Wahlberg, he was on Twitter. This was just within the past couple of days, basically calling out the last of the, those that are interested in young ones,
Mhm.
calling them out and saying, you've got nowhere to run and nowhere to hide.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Because, like, we were just talking the other day, I think yesterday or something. Yes, I believe that they're going to come out right now. They're going to blast all of them, all the ones that are dirty and bad are going to be exposed. Yes. And, guys, I'm going to plug my show this coming Thursday on Beyond Mystic on Rumble. I'm going to be going on and doing Mel Gibson. So I do have a theory, and I'm going to pull cards on it on that show. Mel Gibson, I do believe, is making a production to expose all of these actors, each and every one of them. And no, I don't think a lot of them are still alive, but I definitely think that there's a lot of footage that they're going to be showing in a different film, just like The Sound of Freedom exposed some things. This one that he's producing is going to expose all the actors. Hollywood is bye-bye, gone. Yes.
Yeah, I love that, Kristen. I fully
Mhm.
resonate. I believe that too, and I believe that Hollywood will be done, and that this
Yep.
strike isn't just happening, coincidentally with Sound of Freedom and all the information coming out. Um, it's all meant to be, which is great.
Yep. Definitely. It's all happening. And it's good. It's about time. It's about time all of them are exposed.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
truly.
Yes.
So, that's happening and that's great. There's a few other things as well. So, okay, well, I'll touch on this. So, the DOJ, this is not this story right here. I'll come to this, but the DOJ just dropped looking into the movement of young ones. Let's just say you all know what I'm talking about. They dropped that from their website. And again, in timing with this movie, Sound of Freedom. So I believe that this is all just truly coalescing together. Hollywood, Sound of Freedom, all the information that's coming out about the movement and
Hmm.
all of that stuff. The Bidens, all that they're doing. Now the DOJ removing it from their site. I'm not going to show this either, but a lot of people probably saw the actor Brandon, what he was, he was sniffing,
Yeah.
a young person, and I know you saw that too, Kristen. It was clear from my perspective that the whole thing was a setup and a show, and all of them were actors,
Yeah.
because the people around them didn't even flinch at it. They just were kind of like laughing and, just
Mhm.
doing their thing. But it looked too good to be true in terms of it just looked too
Right.
scripted.
It did. Yeah, it really did.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that even if like people don't really get what he's doing, there would have been people who, maybe would have looked at him in a little different way, or maybe even smiled,
Yeah.
thinking like, oh, he's just doing a little joke. But there was almost none of that.
No.
And it was just very scripted. So
Mhm.
that's a good thing, because they're showing us what they're doing, which is trying to wake people up to this insanity that this group's been involved with.
Yes. Creepy.
Um, yeah, exactly. And, of course, all the stuff happening with Hunter and Brandon, we've been touching on this every week. So many things coming out. It's very hard to even keep up. But this is one thing. So dangerous rhetoric. This is coming from Hunter's lawyers telling Trump to cease and desist his social media attacks on Hunter and Joe. And that's clearly not going to stop. Trump will not stop. What I think is going to happen with this is this also might be a situation where this leads to discovery and more doors can be opened to show these things. So Trump saying things, well, he's got the evidence to back it up. And maybe this will be part of it where he can drop some information and, kind of show these things even more.
Yes, definitely. He's not going to stop. No way.
No, exactly.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people are seeing what's happening at Turning Point USA. Turning Point Action is also known as. This was the conference in West Palm Beach yesterday and today. A lot of speakers. Tucker was on there, absolutely disintegrating candidates. I know you saw some of that, Kristen, as well.
Yeah.
Just amazing. I know many people in the chat saw this too. What Tucker was doing, just completely, slaying these candidates, including Mike Pence, and just completely exposing them. So it was fantastic to see. But something that just happened today that really caught my eye, and I listened to this. I'm not going to play it, but you can see what Don Jr. says. He said, "Do you know what my father would have done to me if it was my laptop? My dad would have sent me to Gitmo."
Yep.
Okay. I'm bringing this up for multiple reasons. I think that would have happened, but also I believe Don Jr. and the team that he's working with, they're telling us exactly what happened to Hunter, Joe, and all of the people involved in that stuff. They sent them to Gitmo. He's telling us what
Yeah.
would have happened if I would have done that. My dad, the president, would have sent me to Gitmo.
Exactly.
So that's what he did to the others.
Yes, it's all here. It's all coming out.
Yep. So that's very exciting. Again, this is all just like we can see this happening plain as day. There's no doubt that they're in control and taking things to another level. This is something else that's very interesting, and we'll see where this ultimately ends up going, because this could, splinter off in a lot of different directions. But as of right now, Ray Epps is going to be criminally charged for his role in J6. And then, of course, he blamed Tucker on it and threw Tucker under the bus, saying a lot of things that he was defaming him. But we know Tucker and the people he's working with have the goods, and they're going to show this. So, again, maybe this guy truly was cabal and he was, now just being taken out in this way. Or he could have been part of the good side, and this is going to still play out a little bit longer where, maybe he brings some evidence and takes down higher ups within the FBI or other agencies.
Yes.
So, Kristen, let's pull cards on Ray Epps. I know that you've pulled cards on him before, but the situation was pretty timely. What what is the situation? What's really going on with Ray Epps and this whole situation as it relates to the Capitol and J6?
Let's take a look. Wow. Well, it looks like, oops, I got a Post-it note stuck to it. There's going to be a huge explosion of evidence coming forward. We got that 8 of Swords here with that 9 of Wands. So something's about to break with those two being there, and the Temperance card. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. And I do think that there's an actor. So the one that we see is sometimes an actor. So there's probably duplicates. That's coming through too.
All right, Kristen, that's great. How about timing on this? What's going to happen with Ray Epps and the timing? I guess maybe the more accurate way would be what's the timing going to be involved with this exposure / the information that's going to come out relating to Epps and the people he's working with, regardless if it's on the light or dark side.
Yes. Wow. So Judgment card, that's an announcement. That's news coming forward. And then I got the Chariot, which we are in Cancer season right now. So any day now, this is Cancer. So on this wrap up of Cancer season, then we have the Emperor. So associated with Aries and the nodes, I believe the North Node, I think. So maybe when that's all kicking off very shortly. So I would say the beginning of August, we got the Wheel of Fortune, the 3 of Cups, again, the Aries card and the Cancer card for a time frame. And this is a positive change and coming forward with information with the Judgment card. Yep, I would put my money on the beginning of August, first or second week of August. Yep.
All right. Let's bring it. Good guys.
Yeah, seriously. Yep.
We want to see more action.
Definitely. We got the number 3 here and 13, so maybe that's meaningful. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay. Awesome. So maybe we'll talk about this more next week. I want to go into Julian Assange next week again, now that we're going to be entering Leo season, but not today right now. But he's another person to keep an eye on during this Leo season, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
The upcoming Leo season. So, all right, Kristen, now we're going to get into more financial stuff and some of the crypto, Ripple, XRP, Bitcoin, things like that.
Yes.
But I want to break down a situation that's happening right now. And I know a lot of you listening are aware of this too. And I think that it's going to be something very interesting to watch as it unfolds. So this is a post from a little while, or this first was back in 2017. BlackRock CEO, Bitcoin is an index of money laundering. Okay. Now, 6 years later, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says Bitcoin could revolutionize finance. And we know there's been a lot of exposure on BlackRock. Thanks to James O'Keefe and the team that he works with. And it's an interesting pivot and shift in rhetoric. Why would he be going from, anti-Bitcoin to all about Bitcoin? There's a lot of different theories on it. We could spend a lot of time talking about it. Ultimately, we're going to just see what happens with it. But there's no doubt that this is tying in with this takedown in some huge ways, because it's finance, because it's crypto, and because it's BlackRock. So I'm going to continue to watch this. I think that there's going to be some pretty interesting moves financially. The government actually just moved a bunch of Bitcoin that they stole from Silk Road. This was the crackdown that took place about a decade ago. They just moved a bunch of Bitcoin within the past few days. So there's movement afoot and huge things are happening. So going into Ripple and XRP, this is clearly at the top of the news cycle with people in crypto. and assets like this. This is a very good article. I am not going to read really much of this, but I want to point out a few different things that this author pointed out. Okay, so in this lawsuit, Ripple lost on what was called institutional sales of XRP. So basically, this says, no one was really expecting that they were going to win this. And so basically, it just does not count as an institutional sale. Okay.
Mhm.
But they won on the language of programmatic sales. Okay. And so this basically is just showing that there's multiple sides to this lawsuit and there's different things coming out. And I'm going to kind of sync this up at the end. And then the lawsuit also won on, quote, other distributions. Okay. And so this basically is how money is termed and how these assets and distributions are termed and how they're allocated out. But what this ultimately means is that Ripple and XRP, it won the major ones, but there's still some things taking place. But we know that the price of XRP has gone up substantially and that people are really celebrating this. And so what this whole point is that the lawsuit had a very difficult time defining what XRP and Ripple is. And so this is where a lot of the confusion was. But things are getting more clear because of the stances that they took on it, which is great. And so the community liked that. They took it as positive news overall, and the price has skyrocketed. So on that note, Kristen, what would you like to share on that? Or, we can pull some cards on XRP right now too.
Yeah, let's pull some cards on it. Sure.
Okay, so for the rest of the year, what is the story of XRP and Ripple going to be?
Here we go. Wow, the star card, which is abundance, rebirth, success, age of Aquarius. It's Aquarius. Then we have the King of Cups, so very strong, dominant energy. The High Priestess, the Nine of Wands. This is good. And then the Empress, another card of rebirth. So it's going to take over. And that does lead me to believe about Bitcoin, that Bitcoin falls off the map because it is dark every time I pull cards on it. It's a dark, Bitcoin's just dark and it's going away. But XRP is taking over. XRP takeover. Shout out to Mel Carmine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Can't get XRP through Mel?
You can, and you can learn about everything else. Nasara Jasara. I'm going to share screen. It's free too. If you go to his website, it's qfs1776.com. Quantum Financial System Manual. So everything you need to know and how to get XRP if you need help getting XRP, which I do. So I'm going to be participating here. But it's a whole manual. They help you. They'll help you get hooked up so you have your XRP. So definitely check that out, you guys. It'll be in the description of the video as well. Let's see, stop screen sharing. There we go. But yeah, exciting times. XRP's taken over. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that lawsuit, it's a huge sign of the times of where we're going.
Yes.
And I'm very, very excited for that.
Definitely. It's coming. Huge celebration. I would predict before Christmas. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense. There's time is truly speeding up so fast now. So much is getting done. And, I think that they're going to continue to roll this out quite quick.
Yes, definitely.
This isn't a very big story. Some people might not view it as big, but it is quite massive for many different reasons. The IMF hints at allowing countries to use the Chinese yuan for debt repayment. If you've been following the IMF and the Chinese yuan, BRICS, gold, and really just the takedown of this old system for a while, you've known that the IMF has been staunchly against this new system and all about preserving the old. And the fact that this is now even being talked about, and I'm sure that it's going to happen, is massive, because this, to me, Kristen, shows that there's been a fundamental takeover of the leadership at the IMF. And, I would assume then part of that is that some of the bad actors were taken out and replaced with actors that are, doing the bidding of the good side. And so, again, like all these things, we'll see where it goes, but this is a huge, huge sign that there's massive shifting and good people in place at the highest levels of all these different massive institutions.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. And then this is another story. So the quote unquote Brandon admin forgives $39 billion in student debt for over 800,000 borrowers. Okay, so some people really get triggered by this, and it's understandable. There's a lot of different sides to this. And, this is something I've been talking about for a while on debt forgiveness and student loan debt forgiveness and just debt forgiveness in general. And I certainly understand the perspective that, okay, we should not be forgiving loans to students who took out money to go to school when, you've got parents and other people who work 3 part-time jobs just to pay for school for their kids. They've done all these things to not borrow money, put in so much time and effort and work to not borrow, when it's going to just get clean swiped out. Okay. So that's, in some ways people say, well, that's not fair. That's not right. And in some ways I totally agree. In other ways, I disagree, only from the premise of a very, very high level that, remember, the whole debt slave system that we've been in, this, fiat banking system, and all the loans involved, regardless if it's students or banks or whatever, it's all been based on fraud, lies, and deception. And this, I think, is a great thing overall, because this is biblical prophecy being enacted, which is wiping off the debt. Okay. So what I think, Kristen, is that Trump and the good team, what they did is, again, they're exposing this dark side, and they're using these people as pawns, or these actors, to show their agenda. But I think that this has been kind of like a Trojan horse of some sorts, in a good way. So they're going to wake up people and say, look, this administration they're just giving away money. All the debt for these students are just going to be wiped off the books. Look how insane this is. They're just handing out free money. And again, in some ways, that's 100% right, and I agree. But also, I think that this has been part of the plan as sort of like a backdoor maneuver to begin the process of debt forgiveness. And I think it's going to go global. I think there's going to be different phases to it, and it's all, clearly being done strategically to not put the whole system into collapse. But this is a huge good sign that this money is being forgiven, because it's starting the process of removing people from the slave system. And again, even if it's a student that's not even aware of this stuff, the whole point with this is liberating all of humanity, not just those of us that are aware of what's going on, all of humanity.
Oh, yes. And, I get asked this question almost every reading, every day almost, about debt forgiveness, school loans, all that stuff. So guys, if you didn't know, I do readings and deep dives on financials, loans, all that kind of stuff. And yes, you're right. It's all going to be wiped out. Every time I pull cards on it, I get consistent answers that it's going to be wiped out. Yes.
Awesome, Kristen. I love that. I love it.
Yep. Yes. Before we go forward, I forgot to share screen earlier, but if you wanted to schedule a personal reading, one-on-one for a full hour, You will now go to maisonjupiter.com, and that's where you'll find me. And I know that there is a 10% off code for a 1 hour reading with me over there at maisonjupiter.com. And also, if you wanted a 3-question reading, you would go to quantumnews11@gmail.com to inquire about that. So 3 questions, or I have the 1 full hour one-on-one with maisonjupiter.com. So just want to throw that out there. We have a lot of new subscribers, so welcome. I'm watching the chat as we're going through here. But this is good, Lance. You're hitting all these hot topics, so good job.
Yeah, thanks, Kristen. And I want to touch on what you just said too. I know that you've been getting a lot of interest for both of those readings, and you know, I think that's awesome. I know that you do a great job with this. There's often questions that I'll ask you to pull on,
Yeah.
and it's spot on.
Yeah.
So, I highly suggest and recommend Kristen's readings, both, from the shorter ones to the longer ones, and you definitely won't be disappointed. And I don't even say that to try to talk Kristen up. Like, she doesn't need any talking up. She is who she is, and she shines bright. But if you are interested, definitely now is the time to do it, because I see you, Kristen, getting. I mean, I know you're already so busy, but I see it like avalanching very, very fast.
Yes, yeah, that comes to my mind that I had to open up more spots. So you guys can actually get in immediately because I opened up more spots. As you all know that have been following me for a while, I just love to work. That's all I do is work, sleep a little bit, and then I'm back to working again. So yeah, you guys can actually get in right away. But thank you, Lance. Thanks for all that. I do love it. I love doing it every day.
Yeah. Kristen, Chris O'Neill asked a very good question. Will you pull that up, please?
Yes, here he is.
Okay, what's to keep those with no loans to go out and borrow some just to benefit from forgiveness of said loans? I think that's a great question, Chris, and I think there's clearly multiple facets to it. My perspective on it, and I am not seeing the whole story certainly behind the scenes, but this is my perspective on this, is that yeah, you could do that, but there's certain stipulations that they're already outlining within this forgiveness. Like, it's not just everyone who has a student loan. It's just, all right, it's done, it's gone. There's certain stipulations and criteria that have to be met. So again, like with any news story, the headlines usually dominate, but the details share more. But, with your question, I think that's certainly part of the thought process that, Trump and the good guys have had to keep in mind, because there's so many different things that people would ask, and they know that this is a very sensitive and important issue. So what I think is going to happen, to kind of answer your question, is that we're going to see multiple strings of forgiveness in different ways, and then ultimately a reset of currencies or things like that, eventually going to the gold and silverback systems, the quantum systems. So I think that this is just the beginning process to kind of clear out some debt and get the topic talked about more. Yep. And honestly, like, again, even if all 800,000 of those people were completely brainwashed and bought into the BS, them getting their loans forgiven is still a good thing for all of us, in my view, for multiple reasons. The biggest reason is that it reduces stress immensely on a person. And when someone reduces stress, they're going to be happier and healthier. They're going to have a higher frequency and vibration. And that is the opposite of what the cabal wants. They want people stressed and, feeling isolated and feeling like they're trapped in that system. They don't want to forgive people's debts. They want to enslave them more. So this is part of why I think that this is a white hat operation in some ways. But, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But it's happening, guys. And I want to shout out to Sherry Shoratz, or Shataz. Sorry. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Whoops, sorry guys. I'm hit the wrong one. But thank you for all your comments, guys, for sure. Thanks for being here. We have 417 in the chat. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. So I'm going to touch on the gold now too, Kristen.
Sure. Yeah.
BRICS.
Yeah.
This is going to just continue to be a very interesting situation that's developing, has been for years. But this story came out on SD Bullion. They were talking about how, according to a foreign embassy serving as a source for a Russian state media channel, there are growing speculation reports suggesting that the BRICS nations are planning to introduce a new trading currency backed by gold in the near future. Now, there's a lot of people saying that they're going to announce it there on the 22nd through the 24th of August. There's others saying they aren't going to announce it, but they're just going to kind of just keep talking about it and just hinting towards it. I don't like that second one. I think that that's probably most likely, to be honest, though. I think a lot of this stuff is and will continue to be gradual. Yes, there's things that are going to happen and it will be overnight, but transitioning the global financial system with 8 billion people on this planet is a huge task, and just instantly switching something, I don't think is going to happen. I think there will be times when things do instantly switch, but it's not going to be something like this, where it's all right, all of a sudden, all these countries are just going back to gold.
Yeah.
They're going to probably announce something, and even when they do it, it's going to be months down the road when they say, all right, now these countries are going to be trading and exchanging using gold and silver backed, with their currencies. We'll see. This is all just speculation, but there's been a lot of dates that have come and gone with the finances and things like this, and it's always just been more of a gradual rollout. Unfortunately, I don't even like saying that. Like, I want this stuff happening tonight, but let's look at it from a wider angle. That are they going to just straight up announce, all right, the world is transitioning to a new gold-backed system overnight? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No.
And I know that there's a lot of gurus, a lot of people out there in finance saying, no, it's coming, they're going to do it. And I think there's a lot of different aspects to it. The currency revaluation, I think, it's tied in clearly, but it can be different from what the BRICS is doing in some ways. So, we'll see where it goes, but we know where this ends, which is gold and silver and other currencies. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen.
Yes, and you know who's dying to know when it's going to happen?
Who?
Janine Steffens. She's in the house. Thanks for being here. She must be stopping by. She wants some silver so she can get some new shoes again.
That's hilarious.
I know. So cute. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. We've got a lot of people in the house. Thanks for being here, guys. No, you're right, though. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Kristen, I want to give you and Janine a shout out for the amazing show that you did on Friday on animals and pets. Yes. I'll kind of let you talk about it, but I was watching and it was truly fantastic. So many cool things that both of you shared, a lot of great feedback and input and questions from those in the chat, and just a good, fun overall show that was, different than this style of show and different from the other shows that you do too.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to share screen so that we can share, because for some of you that didn't see that show, this is the one. I'm going to push pause, but here it is. It's Telepathic Language of Love. We did this on Friday, so if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. But we went over all the chakras of the dogs and the cats and tying them in with how we can align their chakras. Because if you can align their chakras and get them super healthy and calm, it'll fix a lot of behavioral issues. And that's basically what I went over. I'm going to share a screen here on the chakras of dogs and cats. So we went through each one and the relation to what common behavioral issues, as well what they could be lacking. So their health and the nutrients that they get to keep everything aligned is very important to prevent disease and cancer too. But yeah, thank you, Lance. It was a fun show. It was different and it was fun.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was amazing, Kristen, and thank you, Janine, for what you added in there too. And again, there was a lot of people in the chat adding great information and questions, and
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And it was just
thanks.
so much good information. And this is part of what we're doing with Ascent, because I know that you were talking about some of those products
I
for the
was. Yes.
and this is, again, part of it, which is these are not just for us humans, but some of them can be used for the pets. And,
Mm-hmm.
we'll just touch on this a little bit, Kristen, because you both did a great job on this. But
Thank you.
the algae oil DHA is, in my perspective, the top one for the pets. The reason is, again, these omega-3s, humans and pets actually have to get it in the diet. And the most common food source is fish or salmon, as an example, or oysters. Those are high sources of it. But where it actually comes from is the algae. The fish eat the algae. And so then they take in those omegas. But pets absolutely are drawn to this, and they just instinctively know. Kristen, I think that you were talking about Wally and
Yeah,
Allie, both just absolutely loving the
they
algae
just love it.
and what they do.
Oh my gosh. Well, the cat won't leave me alone. So he's always begging for it and demanding it. He's meowing at me, demanding it. Guys, I'm gonna put the link for it in the chat right now for algae DHA. Safe for the pets. I recommend don't get the lemon one. That's for us. But get them the original one. They love that fishy smell and flavor. And I just drizzle it on the food. I do have a chubby cat that doesn't like to eat it, but I put it in the water too, so they cannot not get these nutrients. So you can even put it in their water, and it's very easy. Now he's meowing and he's on his way over here.
I can hear him. I can
Yes,
hear him.
yes, but he loves the algae. I just have to say you want your algae, and they know exactly what it is. But yeah, if you have a finicky one, I suggest you put it inside the water for sure.
Awesome, Kristen.
Yeah.
No, that's so cool. And what you were saying, it's perfect. Like the pets, they'll definitely want the regular one, which is the one you can see here in black.
Yes.
This is the lemon version, which is uh, better for us humans, or in terms of taste, humans like this lemon one typically a little bit more than the regular. But some people don't mind the regular at all. One
Right.
thing that I want to add into this is that for pets, a lot of people ask, and even for humans, what is the dosage that should be used? On these product pages under suggested use, so you can see up here, scroll down a little bit, click suggested use, and it will show what is suggested. This is based on a vet's suggestion that we work with for cats and their weights and dogs and their weights. So you can easily find that there, and you can dose it properly, which is very cool.
Yeah, definitely. I did look at that. I did look at the reference before I dosed my animals. Um, but I actually just will squirt 2 pumps of it, honestly, into the water because I know I have got 3 animals, so they're all drinking from that same big bowl. So hey, they can't not get the good nutrients, and they have no idea, what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
great.
No, that's awesome, Kristen.
Yes.
Um, a couple of the others that you both talked about were the mushrooms. This is also fantastic for dogs and cats. You can mix it into their, ideally wet food is a little bit better.
Mhm.
Or if they're having like cooked food, you can mix it in. And again, it's the agarikon and the lion's mane mushroom powder. Fantastic for us humans. This mushroom was studied by the Department of Defense, the NIH, and the NIAID. Um, there's a lot of different spiritual benefits to this as it relates to the Pacific Northwest and different indigenous people that live out there, or that did live there and that continue to live there. And this agarikon mushroom truly is like quite spiritually protective. But again, same down here, we've got the doses for humans and then also for dogs and cats. And you can
Yeah.
see that information here.
Yeah, and then I wanted to ask you, I mean, we're live, but I'll ask you now. The agarikon mushrooms, I was researching just like the other day before the Friday show about protection against diseases and cancers for our pets. So it helps prevent and build up their immune system, right? The lion's mane and the agarikon?
Yeah, definitely helps support their immune system in a lot of different ways. And, there's great information you can find out there kind of relating to those specific big words that you use relating to D and C.
Yes.
Yeah, there's good information out there that people can find. And yes, I mean, I helped and worked with a lady who she was giving several different mushrooms to her dog for something that he was going through, and
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. And then also herself, she went through a bout of I'm not going to use the word, but she went through some pretty terrible treatments
Yeah.
in terms of the healthcare system, and so she was using the mushrooms to help herself, and she was getting better week after week.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. And going back to the pets, I don't take them to the vet for the little, I'm not going to say the word, but the little doses that they like to give and they say are mandatory you have to have. I admit it. I don't do that. So that's why I do give even the cats the mushrooms too, and Allie, of course. But the mushrooms, the algae oil they're on, and then the humic and fulvic, they're now on the new plan. I'm trying to make one of them lose weight. So he's on a detox. They got a detox with the humic and fulvic, so I'm sprinkling it on their wet food. They don't really know, but maybe they do. They're smart. But it's helping with the detox because I'm putting them on a more raw diet because I don't want them to have the store-bought food. So just like our food isn't that good for us in the stores, you got to be super careful. We got to be super careful with our pets too because all of that food is causing issues. So I'm trying to build up their system so they can fight off whatever happened with the other food, So,
Yes, exactly. And that humic and fulvic for the pets and for us humans, it's going to add in minerals. It's going to add in the humic and fulvic acid. It's going to add in some vitamins, and it definitely will help chelate some toxins and help shuttle in nutrients into cells. So that's
yes.
fantastic, Kristen. And for the pets, we've got the dose down here. You don't need a whole lot, half a pinch mixed in with fresh or wet food a couple times a week. They really don't need a whole lot. It's very strong stuff. So, I mean, it's fine. Even if you gave them a little bit too much, it'd be fine. But, they don't need a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I should tell people too that the discount code Arcana will get you 10% off all these products and your whole order. That's good to use Arcana as the discount code.
Nice.
Yeah. And I'll just kind of end with these couple things for a cent, Kristen. The pine
Okay.
Balm tincture, we've still
Yeah.
had some left in stock. This is so amazing. I'll let you kind of just touch on this, Kristen, because I know you love it so much.
I do. Yes.
The product that Ascent started off with as a company. This was the first product that we added several more after that. But it's been just a staple for us and for many great reasons. People love it. They feel it, most importantly, and it just simply works.
Definitely. Yeah. So the pine needle extract, because when I do my morning shows with the coffee every morning, yes, I have it in my coffee, but a lot of you are still asking me, is it the tincture or the extract? It's the extract. It has that sweet, good flavor, the pine needle extract. So I put like 2 pumps of that in my coffee. You don't need any sweetener at all. You don't need stevia or anything, whatever it is that you put in. It's amazing. Little bit of almond milk maybe with the coffee, and then that pine needle extract. because that's building our immune system. And I have allergies normally, but since I've been on the pine needle extract for over a year now, well over a year now, I don't really get allergies or anything anymore. It's amazing. I know, yeah, it's got to be that. Probably all of it, but I know for a fact pine builds up your immunity, fights off allergies and all sorts of things. Yes.
Yes, yes, absolutely, Kristen. Thank you
Mhm.
for sharing that.
Of course.
So that's the one that Kristen was talking about, the pine needle extract. Yes, it tastes so good. It's
It does.
amazing. And then, of course, the pine pollen tincture, we've got that. But all of these, you can get 10% off if you use Arcana as the discount code.
Yes.
These two, the pine needle extract, the pets technically can have it. Just a couple drops is fine. They don't need a whole lot of the pine needle extract. The pine pollen, you don't want to give it to the pets, or the powder you can. The tincture, it's pretty strong in alcohol, so we just typically say avoid it for the pets.
Yeah. Yeah. Just to be safe. They probably wouldn't like that one, but the other one they would.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then I'll point out one last quick thing, Kristen, because a lot of people ask about like anxiety and stress and mood for their pets. The best couple things definitely is the algae oil DHA, the lion's mane mushroom, and then if you
Mhm.
see up here, we've actually got two tabs. So people might have noticed that our hemp isn't on this main site. The reason is it's on a different domain.
Yeah.
So if you click that over here, Kristen's also got the link for that too. Um,
Do.
and that will take you to this site. And the hemp in combination with the algae oil is, truly fantastic. So many people use this for their pets as well. But that combination, again, for the pets or for us humans, really does help support
It,
mood, outlook, the nervous system, the brain, and just overall cardiovascular system functioning as well.
yeah, definitely. The hemp is really good for the animals too because it helps them with any kind of anxiety, stress, travel. You guys know I've traveled with my animals. Guess what I gave them? I gave them the hemp to chill out in the car. Yeah.
Awesome.
And they did. They would sleep. I'm looking for my link. My affiliate links will be underneath the video and also in the comments, but I'm getting the hemp one right now to put in the chat for you guys. Yep,
Okay.
there it is. I found it. And then that way you guys have access to it right away. It's right there. But yes, I definitely always give the animals the hemp because Allie has separation anxiety. So it also helps with that. If you guys, take your pet to the groomer, they get that high anxiety as soon as you leave them. They're like a little toddler. They hate when you leave. But the hemp helps big time. She wasn't as bad last time.
Awesome. That's great,
Yeah,
Kristen.
I know.
Christine in Texas asked, could the algae oil be put on a cat's skin safely? Would that work? Okay, you can, Christine, but you don't want to. The reason is that it'll make your cat smell like uh, algae or what people call fish, um, immensely. Like
It wouldn't be a good idea.
it would not be a good idea. It's a good thought,
Yeah,
but it's just not something that you actually want to do.
yeah,
Most of the pets truly do like seek it. So if you give them a couple drops at the beginning and just let them kind of get used to it, they'll actually start really wanting it more and more.
definitely. Yeah. And see the results of it, they ingest it, but the outside of their body, you will see it. It doesn't take that long. Their coat will shine, they'll have fuller hair because it helps with hair growth and it really supports the hair shaft, the whole health of their oils, everything supports everything. So hair, their eyes, even if they have any eye issues, it's just like with us. It's a miracle. That's why it's my favorite, the algae, because it helps really overall your whole body, everything. Yep.
last question that I see that I like to answer. Freedom for all. Thank you for your support. We know who you are. And does this mushroom grow here in Ontario, Canada? I'm sure I've seen this. Agaricon mushroom. It's typically in the Pacific Northwest. You might be able to find it in
Mhm.
Ontario. I don't quite know though. Agaricon is the mushroom.
Yeah, Agaricon. Awesome. Any other questions out there? Let's take a look. This is fun. Yep, algae it's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. Um, so, Kristen, I've got a little affirmation slash prayer that I can end my segment on, and then you can share whatever else you would like to.
Sure.
Uh,
Yes.
okay. Well, here's one question: opulent in media, anything for breathing and lung health? Yes. Uh,
Sorry, guys.
yeah. The the agaricon, the pine needle, and the pine pollen would
Yes.
definitely be best. The combination of those three. I mean, of course, everyone has different budgets, so look into it as you wish. But those would be the top three for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I was reading the algae it helps with the respiratory as well as the pine. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
for everything. It's magical.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm,
Truly.
mhm.
Okay. So, Kristen, this is from Joseph Murphy, and I've read some things from his book. Um, so, this short little quote that I want to say is an affirmation for anyone who wants to participate. I positively believe in the healing power of God within me. My conscious and subconscious mind are in perfect agreement. I accept the statement of truth, which I positively affirm. The words I speak are of spirit and they are true. I now decree that the healing power of God within me is transforming my whole body, making me whole, pure, and perfect. I believe with a deep inner certitude that my prayer of faith is being manifested now.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow. So did you plan that one or just open the book and there it was?
I had it before the show, but I just opened to a page before the show, and that was it.
Whoa, I love doing that. I know that you do that, so that's why I wanted to see if that's awesome. Isn't that weird how it works? That was like perfect.
Yeah.
It fits everything right now. Yeah.
Yes, truly.
Aw, everyone loved it too. Yes. And so be it. Yes.
Yes, CJ's Gma, Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
100%. There's actually, I'm just grabbing it right here. Neville Goddard.
Wow. That is a cool book.
This is
I love it.
9 books in one from him, and yeah, he's got great words.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. That was really good. I don't have anything to top that. No, that was great. Oh man. What I could do though, I could share screen real quick. I want to remind you guys on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, in case you didn't know, we're gonna have Ishmael Perez on. Sorry guys, it's not up there anymore. What happened? I had it all prepared to share screen. But anyways, Wednesday, Ishmael Perez is coming on our show and we're going to talk about ascension and a lot of spiritual things. So that'll be fun. And also, again, I'll remind you guys if you're interested in a reading, 3-question reading, you can still order those. So you can order them at quantumnews11@gmail.com. And then again, if you want a 1-hour full reading, that's at MaisonJupiter.com. Just for those of you that are new and you don't know where to find me, MaisonJupiter.com for a 1-hour tarot. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that we covered everything.
Yeah, it's been another great weekend. We're going to see
Yeah.
some things happening coming up. A lot of big energy shifting. New moon in Cancer, the nodes shifting. Excuse me.
Yeah.
nodes shifting into new signs. And so what I was reading, and I know that you and I talked about this yesterday, Kristen,
Mhm.
nodes, it relates to the time period. I can't remember the months, but it's 2004 through about halfway through 2006.
Oh wow.
It's about a 2.5 year time period. So that's going to
Wow.
come back around.
Great.
Let's take the next level with things that were planted then, or
Yes.
put into motion, or things that took place. I think that we're going to see the next up leveling of all of that stuff in great ways.
Wow. Okay. Okay. It just hit me what happened during that time. Yeah. All right. It's all good. It's all good. So we're much stronger this time coming around. So whatever happened back in your life during that time period, this is like you conquered it, and you're gonna. I think we'll reflect back on how strong we are. I think that's a big thing that's gonna happen for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. All right, guys. I think we went over everything, but thank you so much for being here, and thank you, Lance, for bringing all the good news. I love that you prepare and you're very structured. I appreciate that. So fun.
Yes, yes, of course, Kristen. Thank you too.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone in the chat. We see, all the love that's given. It's amazing. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next Sunday together for this quantum news. So you guys take care of yourselves, and the next time I see you guys is Tuesday morning. So see you Tuesday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.